Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are reviewing all the Hill Country Trail highlights that one could ask for. All these interesting places in the Texas Hill Country that are very fun to go to, such as Ocarina Springs in San Marcos, and Prairie Mountain and Wimberley. It's nice to be at the top. San Marcos also has a Texas Commemorative Air Force, where you can see some classic airplanes. And we also have Green, Texas, where we have the famous Green Hall, where musicians come and play and get beer and dance. The Hill Country also has plenty of caverns, such as Cascade Caverns near Boerne, Texas, as well as its neighbor, the Cave Without a Name, which is one of my favorite caves in Texas. It's pretty big, it's pretty spacey, and it's always a good time. We have plenty of state parks in the area, such as the Guadalupe River State Park. It's an easy park to go to. Some fun hiking, some fun swimming. We also have Blanco State Park with its little dam that causes a pretty nifty swimming spot. The St. Dominic Ruins, the Alsatian House over in Castroville, along with the landmark and State Historic Site, which used to be a carriage stop on the way to the west. It's now a Texas State Historic Site, and then we reach Bandera, Texas, where we have the Bandera Natural History Museum, a gem hidden in the Texas Hill Country, with dinosaurs and everything. One can't go wrong by visiting the spooky Polly's Chapel and the Frontier Towns Museum, which has this creepy two-headed lamb. It's creepy, look at it. We also have the world's largest longhorn skull over there. Plus, right around the corner, we have Hill Country State Natural Area, which is one of my favorite parks, and I love getting lost in it. Just look at those hills. And Lost Maples State Natural Area with its Monkey Rock and its beautiful grotto. It's definitely a place to go hiking and enjoying, see the colors of nature. When I was there, it was still a little bit too green though, so I must have missed the color just by a little bit. We have one of Texas's most famous and most visited state parks, Gardner State Park. You can climb all the way up to that mountain and view the valley below. Over in Kerrville, we have the Museum of Western Art, which showcases a lot of these cool cowboy and Indian motifs that keep popping up in Western art. It's almost quirky, it's almost cliche-ish, it's almost tacky, but it works. Then we have the Empty Cross Monument on top of one of the hills right outside Kerrville. Head deeper into the Texas Hill Country and you'll find the mysterious Stonehenge too. Nobody knows who built it. The Druids, the Comanches, who knows? I can't believe this place is not more popular. Aliens. Also, Fredericksburg is a pretty cool place to visit on the Texas Hill Country. We have the Admiral Nimitz Museum, as well as the National Museum of the Pacific War, which tells you everything you ever wanted to know about the Pacific War during World War II. And we also have historic Fort Scott, one of the newer places to visit there. It's an old fort, and they got some of the old buildings and they've restored them, and you can go check them out. Plus, Fredericksburg is a place to get German food. Look at that schnitzel. Right outside Fredericksburg, we have the Old Tunnel State Park, where you can witness a bat tornado. And we have the LBJ National Historic Site, which shows some of the old Johnson settlement houses that are preserved for history's sake. And then we go over to the Sauerbeckman State Historic Site. It's a nice little farm. And then we head into the LBJ State Historic Park and Site. There's cows running around. So you get to drive around LBJ's estate, see his plane, pretend to give a press conference with him, and take pictures with him. Pretty cool place. Plus it has a Texas White House, which you can tour. Close to there we have the Pedernales Falls State Park, which is one of the most popular parks in Texas. And one of my favorite places in Texas, Enchanted Rock State Natural Area. Climbing the rock is one of my favorite things to do in Texas. It takes forever and it nearly kills you, but it's definitely worth it. Especially the views from the top. And we also have Inks Lake State Park with its many lakes and hills to hike through. It's especially grueling on a hot day because the heat really bounces off of those rocks. But definitely worth a visit because it's close to Longhorn Caverns State Park. They're like 10 minutes from each other. So you can get to see some of what's on top of the Texas Hill Country and what's below the Texas Hill Country. Then we have Colorado Bend State Park, a park where I nearly died at. Fun memories. I was happy to make it down here, but I am never ever going down there again. Never. The hike out of there was horrible. Then we have the Hill Country Flyer, which takes you on a train journey to the Texas Hill Country. I liked it, it was fun. You can also take the Vanishing River Cruise, which takes you down the Colorado River, leads you to some cliffs where you can see some animals and birds and all that kind of stuff, and it's a pretty nice relaxing ride. I also went out hiking to Balcones Canyonlands National Wildlife Reserve and to the West Cave Outdoor Discovery Center, both located in the heart of the Texas Hill Country. It's a pretty awesome place to visit. Look at that grotto, look at those colors, those ferns, that moss. It's amazing. Our final stop on the Texas Hill Country is Austin. We have the Paramount Theater, where they show awesome movies. And Austin is known for its pretty cool state parks. Some of them are urban parks like this one, where it's right downtown. Then we have the 360 Overlook Park, and then some parks along its many creeks, such as this one at Bull Creek. Then of course you have to visit Mount Pinal, which is the highest point in Austin, and look at the mansions below. And then hike through the Wild Basin Wilderness Preserve and head on down to the falls to take a look at them. Austin is an art lover's dream come true. There's murals everywhere. I love going to them, taking pictures of them, being seen with them, posting with them. I love the Selena one and the You're My Butter Half. Even though I've got no, I got cats. They're my butter half. But these murals are excellent and fun and quirky. Definitely visit them. And of course we have Willie and Angelina Everly, who saved the Texas Capitol from being moved to Houston. Austin is the home of Whole Foods, where you can go and get really pricey veggies. And Book People, where you can find books. Books are still important. Now we're taking a hike through downtown Austin for some urban hiking. Let's see what's down there. Let's see some of the exciting things to see. There's Town Lake or Lady Bird Lake, whichever you prefer. There's also the Texas Toy Museum. And the Driscoll Hotel, which is one of the fanciest hotels in Austin. It's old, it's fancy, it's haunted. Rich people love it. One of these days, I'll be rich. We have the Museum of the Weird on 6th Street, which shows a lot of weird stuff. Definitely a quirky little visit. Look at that thing. St. Mary's Cathedral, which is in downtown Austin. And the Mexicarte Museum, which showcases some pretty awesome Mexican American and Chicano art. And then during Dia de los Muertos has a pretty awesome little festival. Downtown we also see the new public library, which is considered one of the most prettiest places in Texas. The architecture and design of this library has won many awards. I myself hate the stairs because they give me vertigo. While you're here, surely you've heard about the bats, so it's always fun to go take a little bat cruise. An added plus is that you get to see the Texas skyline, the Austin skyline during the day and at night while you search for bats. But look at those sights directly from the river. It's pretty cool. I definitely recommend this one if you're going to be here while the bats are here. Another place I highly recommend is Barton Springs. It's a pool at Zocco Park in the heart of Austin, and its waters are pretty refreshing, especially on a hot summer day. We have Zocco Park and the Umlauf Sculpture Gardens, which has some hiking and some beautiful artwork to look at. And if you want to see more plants, you can go to the Zocco Botanical Gardens, where they have koi fish, which look delicious. And you can walk around through its Asian gardens, Japanese gardens, and other things. The Austin Nature Center is also right around the corner, where you can see animals. And then as we're venturing out, we can get to see the new Waterloo Park, which is this new breed of park that they're having in Austin, which is kind of interesting to look at. Of course, we have the University of Texas, which is going to have plenty of things to do, such as the Ransom Center, where they have a copy of the Gutenberg Bible. And right down the street, we have the Blanton Museum, with its many modern art installations and everything. Plus, it's got some pretty cool European and classical art too. So definitely go there. I also found this Olmec-Head, which I like. Then we have one of my favorite museums in Texas, the Texas Memorial Museum, except they've closed it down. No! And the Cirque Center, which showcases bodybuilding and golf. Mostly bodybuilding though. And lifting weights, which I can't, I'm too weak. On the bottom floor is the Austin Athletics Hall of Fame, where you can see all the trophies the UT Athletics program has won. And walking around campus, we have the UT landmarks, where you can see different art installations that the university has brought in to beautify the campus. Definitely worth it. It's also the home of the LBJ Presidential Library, where you can go and learn all about our presidents. And the Bob Bullock Texas State History Museum, which houses one of LaSalle's ships that was found in Matagorda Bay back in the 90s, plus the old Statue of Liberty. We have the French Legation Building, which was never actually used, but it's still a historic site, and the Mexican American Culture Center, right next to Rainey Street. It always has some fun activities and art going on, so check out their website. And then we have the Texas State Capitol, which is one of my favorite places to visit and bring people when they come here to Austin. I love walking around, seeing the history, experiencing the history, and seeing where things are done, where Texas state laws are made and fought over. Plus, the outside has several monuments to different groups, such as the Tejano history one. We also have Camp Mabry, which is a military museum which showcases some of Texas's military might, plus some airplanes. And the Texas State Cemetery, which is the final resting place for many notable Texans. This is Tom Landry's. It's not really his tomb though. And Stephen F. Austin. In West Austin, we have Mayfield Park with its peacocks and koi fish, which always look delicious. And right next to it is the Laguna Gloria, which has some hiking and art at the same time. Plus awesome architectural views of this villa. We also have the Elizabeth Ney Museum, she was a sculptress who sculpted some pretty famous Texans, so we get to see her work in studio. And in South Austin, we have the Texas Wildflower Center, which is a perfect place to visit in the spring when it's nice and cool and not too hot, and you can see all the flowers coming out. And one of the newest things to do in Austin is the Wonder Spaces Museum, which has a lot of cool art installations that you can interact with. It's definitely worth a visit. They have rotating exhibits, so it's not always the same thing. So I recommend you go here and have fun with your friends and be silly and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, that's the Texas Hill Country for you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thanks. Bye-bye.